Hello everyone, this is Churchgirl. Hope everyone had a blessed day today. Churchgirl is back in the kitchen again. Thank the Lord for another day. And this evening, Churchgirl is back in the kitchen again. Thank the Lord for another day. And this evening, Churchgirl is making for dinner today some more chicken masala because we like chicken masala. And I'm going to be making some red potatoes here. I have some red potatoes here. I'm going to be making some red potatoes. And I think I'm going to put some, maybe I'll put some string beans with those red potatoes, or I'll just cut them in half and I'll just cook them. Also, I'm going to be making some sweet potatoes, but this time I'm going to be making stewed potatoes. Okay? Churchgirl is making chicken masala. I have my chicken here. So I'm going to be making chicken masala using my masala cooking wine. And I'm going to be making stewed potatoes here. I'm going to go ahead and stew these potatoes up because I need to use them. And remember, I said if you don't use your food, you'll lose your food. So I'm going to peel these sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. Normally, I go ahead and I bake my potatoes. But today I'm going to stew my potatoes. And I'll show you how I stew my potatoes. Churchgirl is in the kitchen making chicken masala, red potatoes with string beans, or if I don't do the red potato with string beans, I'll just do some mixed vegetables on the side, some mixed veggies, and my brown rice is already prepared. So let's get started. Hope everyone had a blessed day. And now I'm going to get my dinner on the way. Okay, now I'm back. Churchgirl is back. I have my sweet potatoes all sliced up and seasoned well. I used a little allspice and some pure butter over in here. And I used some carnation milk. Remember I told you I'm making stewed potatoes. I used a little carnation milk, probably 1/4 of a cup. It doesn't take much because I'm going to put these in the oven. And I used about a cup of brown sugar. I didn't use any white sugar. I used only brown sugar and butter and some carnation milk. And now I'm going to go ahead and put these potatoes in the oven, called stewed potatoes. I think I'm going to cover them. It's not necessary to cover them, but I'm going to go ahead and cover them and stick them right straight over in the oven. And I'm going to let them stew off on 350 degrees, just like so. I didn't want sweet potatoes, baked potatoes tonight, so I'm making, Churchgirl is making stewed potatoes. And they should come out really, really good. Now these are my red potato slices here. I decided to just go ahead and slice them up in half. My red potatoes. I sliced up some white onions and I put in some bell peppers. I also used a little bit of Creole seasoning over in my red potatoes here. And now I'm going to add a little bit more of my Lipton onion soup mix because they're very, very good on potatoes. Remember I told you I use this as my stapler? I'm not going to put much because I already added some. I had a little less than half a pack that I already added. I just want you to see what it looked like. Nothing but seasoning, see? It's nothing but seasoning. It's a nice onion seasoning. Make your potatoes taste really, really good. I already added a little bit of water to my pot here. Now I'm going to just sprinkle a little olive oil over these red potatoes. And I'm going to let them cook off on medium low heat. I'm going to let them come up to a nice steep first, and then I'm going to turn them down really, really low. And I'm going to let them cook off. I think I put them on this side. Okay, I'm going to let those red potatoes cook off. Just like so. And I'll be adding a top to that. Let me go ahead and add the top now while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to cover those red potatoes. They have nice garlic and onion flavor and my Lipton soup mix with some Creole seasoning. And they're going to taste really, really good. So I'm going to let these red potatoes cook off. Now I'm getting ready to make my chicken masala. Okay, remember I told you I wash my chicken really, really good. Always keep some hot dishwater when you're dealing with any kind of poultry or when you're cooking, period. Keep those hands impeccable clean. You notice I'm not wearing any rings and no long fingernails. I'm going to take my mallet here and I'm going to press out my chicken breast. I'm going to be making chicken masala using chicken breast. And you know, sometimes chicken breast is a little thick. So what I did, I took some saran wrap, put one on the bottom and one on the top. Now I'm going to take my mallet and I'm just going to press out that chicken breast until it get nice and thin and even. That way they'll cook off very, very even. I'll be back shortly. Okay, now I'm back. I have my chicken all seasoned and lightly floured on both sides. Nice big chicken breast. I'm going to go ahead and put it right down over in my oil here. And I'm going to let it cook on both sides to get nicely, lightly brown. Okay, I'm not going to let it fry up hard. It's going to be lightly brown on both sides. I lightly seasoned it. And I lightly floured it just like so. Very lightly on both sides. And I think I can get it all in this skillet here. I'm going to make it work. And I'm going to let this fry up lightly. And I'm going to come back and show you exactly, get started with my masala sauce, okay? Have my potatoes being stewing in the oven. Wash my hands real fast here. Have my red potatoes over there. They're cooking up with good seasoning. Now I have my chicken breast frying up here. And I'll be back shortly and show you how I'm going to bring together my masala sauce using baby bella mushrooms. And I'm going to be using masala cooking wine and garlic and onions. Okay, I'm back. My chicken breast is all done. And now I'm making my, sauteing up my onion and garlic. And I need to go ahead and add my mushrooms over in there. I forgot to add them when I put the garlic onion. Going ahead now and adding my mushrooms, nice baby bella mushrooms. This time I'm not going to chop them up really fine. Last time I made my chicken masala, I chopped my mushrooms up really, really fine. But this time I want to leave them a little bit chunkier. So I went ahead and added my my portobello mushrooms. I will cut this one down a little bit. And I'm leaving them a little bit on the chunky side. I don't want them to be really small. So now I'm going ahead now and sauteing up this garlic, onion, and mushroom, just like so. When this get all sauteed up, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to bring this together with my masala wine. While my onions and garlic and stuff is sauteing up, I'm going to turn it up a little bit so it can go and saute. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead now and add my masala wine. Anytime you're using cooking wine, if you have alcohol in it, make sure you have your eye turned down really low, because alcohol would tend to make a flame if you're not careful. I used about 1/4 of a cup, but I'm going to add a little bit more since I have quite a bit of chicken breast. And I'm going to add this over to my chicken here. I'm going to go ahead and let this start to cook down, because you need to cook that alcohol completely out of that cooking wine. Okay? I'm going to go ahead now and let this cook up. Let that wine cook down. What it'll do is just cook the alcohol out, and then I'm going to add my chicken broth. I'm going to add about 1 cup of chicken broth over to my chicken once the masala wine cooked down. I'll be adding this chicken broth right over to this chicken breast once my masala cooked down. Over here, I'm sauteing up my onions and garlic and mushrooms. It's sauteing up really good. And over here in the back, my potatoes is really done already. They look really, really good. But what I want to do, I don't like any of my food too loose. If your food is ever too loose, go ahead and grab yourself a little bit of starch. Grab yourself a little bit of starch and a little water. Mix it up really, really good. And add it right over to what you're cooking, okay? That way, It'll thicken up whatever it is that you're cooking. I wanted my potatoes, my red potatoes, to be a little bit thicker, so I went ahead and added a little starch and water together. Mix it up really, really good because I don't want any lumps. And I add it right over to my red potatoes, and they look really, really good. Okay, I'll be back shortly. But my chicken is, with the masala wine, is cooking up really good here. My potatoes is just like I want them, the consistency that I want. They are perfect. I can go ahead and turn them off because they're really ready. They're perfect. And I'm sauteing up my garlic, onion, and mushrooms. I don't have to let it saute up long because it's going to be adding it straight over to my chicken there in a few minutes. Okay? Okay, now my masala wine is all cooked down. And I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken broth over to this chicken breast just like so. I don't think you can see that. Go ahead and add my chicken broth. I added my chicken broth. Add a whole cup of chicken broth here over to my chicken breast. Now, let that come to a nice little steep, and then I'm going to add in my mushrooms, onions. I could go ahead and add them in, but I'll go ahead and add them in just a second. I use chicken broth, a cup of chicken broth. Put it back in the fridge. It should stay cold. After I put in about 1/4 of a cup of masala cooking wine. Okay, now I'm going to add my mushrooms, onion, and garlic, and turn it down real, real low. And I'll be back when it's finished cooking. There's the masala wine that I used. Okay, turn it up. Let it come to a nice little heat there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my nice sauteed mushrooms and bell peppers and onions. I'm sorry, mushroom, onions, and garlic right over to my mixture. And then I'm just going to let it cook down. I'll go ahead and add it now. I'm just going to let it cook down on low. And if it's too loose, I'll grab me a little starch and a little chicken broth, and I'll thicken it right up. Whenever you're cooking anything, and if your food is not as thick as you want it, always keep you some flour or some cornstarch on hand. And if you're dealing with sweets and you want those sweets a little thicker, always keep you some cream of tartar. I just add some cream of tartar with a little carnation milk, and I stir it up really, really good, and I add it right over to my stewed potatoes because I didn't want them to be too loose. So they're already in the oven. I have the oven on warm, and I'll be back in a minute and show you the finished product. Churchgirl is cooking up chicken masala, red potatoes, and my brown rice already prepared, and my veggies is already prepared. Okay? Be back and show you the finished product in a minute.